Hey Splashers, welcome back to the channel Splash of Prudencia. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. My name is Prudence. If making trousers is something you find difficult, feel free to scroll through my channel. Before then, pay close attention to this. If this is what you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and let's dive in. So for this tutorial, we'll be making use of a Mikado fabric. I have 2 yards here, which I'll be using for this tutorial. Mikado is one fabric I love working with because of the strength and how easy it is to work with. So I went ahead to fold these 2 yards of fabric in 2 equals, and I'm just marking out the top part there to indicate that that is where I'll begin all measurements from. This trouser is going to be having a band of 2 inches. So I subtracted 2 inches from my tape rule, placed it on that start line there, and marked the length of my client. Marking that length, I added extra sewing allowance that I will be using to turn the down. So feel free to add whatever you're comfortable with folding. So I marked the length all through and aligned using a ruler. So the next thing we are going to achieve is our sit tie, which is the lap area. So you're going to divide your actual hip measurements by 4. If you notice, I subtracted 2 inches from my tape rule. Every measurement we are taking horizontally, we are going to be subtracting 2 inches because we will be adding a band later on. So I marked what I had after dividing my hip by 4. So on that same sit tie line or lap line, you are going to be fixing in your hip measurement again. Your hip measurement divided by 4. This time you are placing it vertically. So you are going to extend that hip measurement you marked on the sit tie up to the waistline there. So this line we rolled out is the hip measurement. So on that sit tie or lap, you are going to mark your lap measurement or your sit tie measurement divided by 2 this time around. The only thing you are dividing by 4 is your hip measurement and your waist measurement. Next is our waist measurement divided by 4. I actually thought I was filming, but I wasn't. So I marked it at that waist point there. You can see this mark here. So just go ahead and do the same thing. The next thing we want to get is our hip line. So I'm still going to subtract that 2 inches from the waist, and from the waist to the hip is 8 inches for this particular person. So next we are going to connect the 2 lines using a curved ruler because we want to give it that hip shape. So after connecting from the waist to the hip, we are also going to give this flap a nice curve. You can as well use your free hand. So this is a free pant, so we are just going to extend the line from this flap area or the lap area or the sit tie area down to the end there because we want it big all through, we want it baggy all through. So that's basically everything for the front. And if you notice, I didn't add any sewing allowance to the front. So next we are still going to use the same fabric to cut the back part. One thing you need to know about trousers is that the back is always wider and in some cases longer. Okay, so I'm just going to extend this flap area here. I made sure to leave some excess fabric at that flap area so that I can be able to add all the allowances we need for the back to be bigger than the front. On the flap area of the back there, I added 2.5 inches extra, and other parts I added just 2 inches. Why I added 2.5 inches on the flap area is because the back is usually bigger, and in that area it needs to accommodate the hip, so it has to be bigger than the remaining parts. So after adding the sewing allowance, I went ahead to connect all the lines using a straight ruler. So we'll connect it all straight to the down, and then we will come to the upper part. For the upper part, I'm just going to add 2.5 inches after the actual front waistline there and connect it to meet with the flap of the front waistline there. So if you do this correctly, you are not going to have a straight line. Sometimes you might have it more slanted than what I have here. Just give it another curve to meet with the back extension there, and then straighten the waistline. So we are going to do something to the back. We're going to be adding 1 inch to the back to accommodate the hips, and then for the front we are going to be subtracting because we would not want a bulging at the stomach area. So the 1 inch extra added at the back there, sorry, it's not so visible. I just slanted it to meet with the end of the waistline. While for the front, I'm just subtracting half an inch because the person doesn't have a big tummy. For someone who has a big tummy, you can go for 1 inch or more. So take note of how I'll be cutting out these pieces. That's basically all you need to know about cutting the front parts and the back parts of a baggy pant. So I'm going to be showing you next how to go about the sewing in details. So do well to follow through this process. In a previous video I made, someone was asking why I didn't mention the specific measurement of the client. Sometimes when I notice that after dividing, the figures might be confusing to beginners, I just do my best to keep it to myself while explaining in details the process you need to follow. After a while sewing, you won't be using the exact measurement I am using because what you are sewing would not be for the same person. So after cutting, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the pocket. I have extra fabric from this Mikado, but in a case where you don't have extra, you can make use of lining and then place a patch of the fabric you are using on the lining. So I have other videos where I use lining as the pocket, so you can do well to check them out. So I'll be cutting the pocket as a pair. That's 2 pieces. It's already folded. I'm going to be marking 12 inches as the length. I normally use 12, and then as the width, either 6 or 6.5. It all depends on how wide you want it to be, and the length also depends on how deep you want it to be. So I connected the 2 angles and then gave it a nice curve, and then we'll cut it out. So for the opening of the pocket, I usually use 6 or 7. It all depends. So for this one, I'll be using 7 inches as the depth of the pocket opening. So you're going to notch it half an inch. I went too deep for this, so take note of not notching it past half an inch. So I'm going to bring out the front piece of this trouser we just made. I'm going to try to curve the pocket into the hip shape we have on the actual trouser, so that by the time we fix it in, it's not going to distort what we already drafted out. So I'm placing it on top of the pocket, that is the front piece. And for you to know you placed it correctly, you make sure the top part aligns. So I'm just going to retrace with a chalk and then trim it out. I made sure to place the 2 pockets together, that's the pair, and then fold in 2 to also cover out the other part. So you have to do this to ensure that when you fix your pockets, you don't have the side all straight. So this is what we'll have. I went ahead to just stitch from that opening to the down using half an inch for the 2 pairs. So we're going to turn this over and top stitch to give it strength. Though this fabric already has strength, but if you are using lining, you want to do that to ensure strength. And then this is what we'll have after top stitching. I went ahead to give it a good press, and you can see how neat it looks, and you can see the hip curve over there. So we're going to go ahead and join the flap of the front. For this Mikado, there's no front and back, but if you're using a fabric that has front and back, do well to check. So I'm going to be sewing using half an inch, but I'm not going to be sewing the back part. So this is what I have after sewing the flap of the front and the back. Later on, I'm going to be losing that of the back. So open it up. This is the front part. I'm just going to show you an easy way of fixing the pocket. Pick out any of the pocket pieces, open it up, and then place it on that hip line. You see the way it matches? That was why we trimmed it off. So you are going to pin this down. For some people, they also notch the trouser at the same time they notch the pocket, but if you want a neater result, just do it this way. I made sure the other part of the pocket is not part of what I'm pinning down. So I want the width of the opening of the pocket to be 2 inches, but after sewing I'm going to be having 1.5 inches because I'm still going to join the side. So on that half inch there, I'm going to connect it together with that 2 inches in a slanted form Okay, just take note of what I'm doing. You are going to sew on a straight line, and then for the other part you're also going to open it up, place it, pin it down, mark the same 2 inches width you want, and then connect it to the 1/2 inch we have at the end of the trouser, the pocket opening there. So we're going to be sewing here and here too. So we'll sew that and we'll be back. This is what we'll have after sewing it. So I went ahead to unpin it. Do well to work with your iron while sewing. It will give you a neat finishing. So I went ahead to notch the fabric now, before we notch just the pocket. So I'm just trying to give it a smooth line there, and then we'll turn it over. This is what we'll have. You can as well press before you proceed sewing. So I'm just going to top stitch this upper part here that I'm about to pin down, and then that 1/2 inch part we are going to do a zigzag stitch there to ensure it holds properly. So this is the back view. You can see how neat both the front and the back looks. So for the other part too, we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to notch it. Don't notch past where you've sewn. So you're going to open it up. I'm just trying to use my hand to press it open. You can use your iron to do that. And this is what we'll have. You can see how neat it looks after top stitching, and you can see the back too, how neat it looks also. So do well to follow due process. I have a band which I already ironed out. It's a 2 inches band, because remember, while we were drafting we always subtracted 2 inches from the length because we were going to have this band. So I had an extra 1/2 inch there that will be sewing. So after sewing we'll just have the same 2 inches we need. So I'm sewing it on the back to flip it over towards the front. So just sew with 1/2 inch first. This is what we have after sewing with 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to turn it to the front, and then you can use your pressing iron to press this seam down and then cover it. So I'm going to do that before sewing. So if you are not using a thick fabric like Mikado, you can as well add an interface like Hesti to give the band firmness. This is what we'll have after sewing it. You can notice it's not laying flat. That is because we subtracted 1/2 inch from the front to avoid bulging. So if you follow the same process and you have yours laying flat, there must be a problem. So I went ahead to add band to the back part of this trouser. The back are separate, so I'm just going to place the right sides facing each other for the back for each of the sides, and I'm going to be pinning them down. So I'm just going to be identifying what part of the trouser I'll be placing my zip. You can decide to place it on the right side or on the left side. So I'm just using my zip to measure out where it's going to stop, so I'll know where the sewing is going to start from. So I'll place the other part of the back piece on the front, and then just pin down and then sew 1/2 inch or more to the down. So you can see I'm done sewing it to the down, and for this side here I started from where my zip is going to be ending and made a sewing straight down. So I'm just going to unpin it and sew my zip. You're going to sew this part first and then the other part. So if you do not know how to fix a zipper, you should look up some videos on how to do that. So this is what I have after fixing my zipper. You can see how neat it looks both on the inside and on the outside. So I'm going to fold this in two. That's why I didn't join the flap of the back, because all your allowance goes toward the back flap, unlike other dresses where you have your allowance at the side. So for this method you have your allowance on the flap. So I'm going to pin this down and then divide my waist measurement by 2, because this is folded in 2. And whatever I have, I'm going to mark it out on this waistline here. You would normally have this flap to be excess, so just slant it towards the lower part of the flap. Make sure it is 1/2 inch on that end there, but for this upper part it can be bigger. It's okay that way. So I went ahead to sew it, and I'm going to be bringing this back to attach the flap part, the lower part. I'm just going to place the 2 lines together, pin it down. So I'm going to pin it down both on the right side and on the left side. So this middle part is of great priority because you have to make sure those two lines are together. So in a case where there are excesses, they will fall towards the down part instead of the flaps not aligning. So I'm just going to sew using 1/2 inch straight, and then after doing that, this is what I have. So I'm just going to mark the length of the trouser, and whatever I have as the excess at the down part is what I'm going to be folding. So that's basically all you need to know about making a baggy palazzo pant with a side zipper and a band. So this is the finished result, though I've not given it the finishing iron touch, but you can see how nice it looks. If you enjoyed this tutorial, do well to hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, keep splashing, guys.